You guys should.
Yep, we good.
All right. What is going on, everybody? We are here after, I think, 9, 10, 11, 27 weeks, whatever it's been really at this point. It doesn't feel like we've even really had a season. Oh, let me just, we're already skipping. We're just excited to see some racing. So if you're not familiar with this is NASCAR by the Numbers by World Racing Media Group. You'll see in his Dale Jr. and his beanie, even though he's in Florida where it's probably 90 right now in the beanie.
85.
Well, we got Thomas in here. Happy race day, Thomas. We got Armany here. Then you got me, William Richard, NASCAR Opinion. And we're going to try to make it simple for everybody today. I know we're all excited. We're going to, we got 4 quarters of the show today. It's a football game today. We got 4 quarters of a show. We're going to talk about, for one, what have we been doing the last 10 weeks or however long. We were trying to calculate the math. I think it's been right at 10 or 11 weeks. We didn't even think about this, but there was a NASCAR driver that got fired since all of this started. So we'll hit on that a little bit. Everybody should know what that is. And no, I'm not talking about Jeremy Mayfield. 3 is how big a deal today's race could be. Armani is a weirdo, but we love him anyways. That is a fact. And I saw his hair. Everybody, I saw a sneak peek of his hair, and trust me, he needs to have the beanie on. There it is. And so third, we'll talk about how big a deal today's race is. There's going to be a lot of eyeballs on the race. Then we will finish up with giving our race picks. And I think I've got a deadly pick in my back pocket. And I can't remember. I think I've picked 3 races this year, and I've been correct twice. But so far, I'm going pretty well. But anyways, let's get into it. Armani, what have you been doing the last 2.5 months?
Well, I mean, one of the big things here, I don't know if you guys tell, I got a car. Only took me, like 19 years of living on this planet. Finally got a car, 2017 Kia Forte LX. Not too bad at all. Gets the job done. It's better than that Camaro I have. Well, I can't even say I shared the Camaro with my mother, but yeah, finally got my own car. Got a job at Walmart, making $12.10 an hour. So overall, can't complain. I'm just waiting on that haircut.
There you go. Yeah, man. I mean, it's been weird because it doesn't feel like it's been that long. This is kind of a controversial take because people are going to get upset about this, but it's been weird. I've been really calm without racing for some reason. I don't know if it's because typically racing surrounds my life 24/7, 365, pretty much every other time of the year. I mean, no matter, even during Christmas, I'm thinking about racing. I'm talking, I'm tweeting, I'm playing a game, something racing. And it's been oddly calm. I finally got to start working at a racetrack last night. People that know me or have seen my Twitter, I've worked at Anderson Motor Speedway, which is a small asphalt short track in the upstate of South Carolina. That's been my 3rd year there. They have not started back yet. We're hoping early June for them. But this year I started a new gig at Lawrence County Speedway, which is funny that who we're racing at today is the actual nickname is the Darlington of Dirt. So, hey, we got Matthew in here. We got a lot of people in here, so that's pretty cool. I'll keep putting comments. If y'all comment something, we'll throw it out there and we'll say it. But the Darlington of Dirt in Lawrence, nice little dirt track. If anybody's ever up in the upstate on a Saturday night, let me know. Well, when we can get fans back. We're running it without fans. Come to the racetrack and doing news reports for them, so that's cool. I also got a car, but not the same kind of car. All right. Strolling at my parents' house the other day, and I find this bad boy. Let me get it right on the camera. I find this bad boy just sitting in a cabinet that we had. So me and my dad used to get a bunch of different die-cast, and this is a 2002 Jeff Gordon Monte Carlo, all right, back when they made really good race cars. So I thought that was pretty cool. But, yeah, man, it doesn't feel that long. Is there anything you've been doing to pass the race time?
Not like there's really anything to do, honestly. I mean, South Florida, they're starting opening more stuff back up tomorrow, with the barbershop and stuff. They opened up parks about a week or 2 ago, which is good. So, just like trying to play some basketball, football whenever I can. And really just been going there, going to work, going home, and then, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, that's been me. Like, my regular life really hadn't changed. I haven't missed. I mean, if I've missed any days of work, it's because I took a day off. I mean, I sell heavy duty truck parts, so we're considered essential if that really even means anything anymore. But they're starting to open up stuff here in South Carolina. Restaurants are finally. In fact, I'll probably be going somewhere for lunch after this at 50% capacity. It's kind of weird. The first time I'd been out to eat in a couple months, like out to eat as in sit down at a restaurant, was Friday night. It's the first time I'd been in obviously like 2.5 months. So it was weird, but they did a good job. I went to Red Robin, and it felt like I haven't been overly anxious about all this, but it felt like they did everything right. We were kind of all to ourselves. We didn't have a lot of excess contact, so it felt pretty good. But I have passed the time. Hey, since I've been gone, all right, listen. I've been playing NASCAR the Game 2011, all right? A throwback to the Xbox 360, all right? And I'm just going to let everybody know, you were talking to the GOAT here, all right? 7 championships, including 4 in a row right now for 3 different organizations, all right?
5 in a row.
172 career wins. All right. So I'm aiming for Richard. All right. It's gonna happen in another couple of seasons. And oh God, here he goes. It's gonna happen in another couple of seasons. I mean, I'm on track, folks. And I mean, I'm thinking first ballot Hall of Fame, maybe. I've been on track since we've been going.
Yeah, I started my rookie season in NASCAR Heat 4 career mode. Signed with RCR, replaced Austin Dillon, gave the 3-car driver that can actually compete. So start off the season, finished 23rd at Daytona, not the best. Won Atlanta, had like 8 straight top 5s, end of the season with 14 wins, like an 7th place average finish, won the championship, dominated Homestead. Honestly, it was kind of funny. I could have won Texas, so I could have won back-to-back, but because Alex Bowman was in the round of 8, and I knew the entire season Bowman wasn't really doing that well, I wanted to let him win so I can take out a harder guy for the championship to beat. So I let Bowman win Texas, and then who's my hardest competition to win in Miami? Alex Bowman.
There you go. Hey, mine's realistic, all right? I had 24 wins in one season, okay?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I won 2/3 of the schedule, including at one point I won 7 consecutive Daytona 500. But anyways, let's get back to serious NASCAR. Some real life stuff here. Let's get to something that seriously did happen while we were all gone. Obviously, we all know the controversy, Kyle Larson, and the situation that happened there. We probably won't spend too much time on it just because everybody's beat that dead horse for weeks. I think it's been a month since it's happened. I know we didn't even think about the iRacing thing. It kind of put these two. We'll put iRacing and Kyle Larson together. So I thought the iRacing thing was a cool experiment. I only watched the first 2 races. It's just not necessarily my cup of tea. I respect it. I get it. I think it was a great marketing idea. Brilliant for what NASCAR did with it. Probably should have used some different tracks that weren't on the schedule, like a lot of other people have said. But a brilliant marketing tool. I mean, they averaged over 1 million viewers every single week they did it, which is crazy for, in all intents and purposes. I know it's not a video game, but I'm going to use the term a video game. That's how a lot of people casually will look at it. Smart idea. Obviously, know the Kyle Larson thing. So for one, Armani, what did you think about the iRacing or whatever Pro Invitational, whatever that was supposed to be called? And what do you think about the Kyle Larson situation? And are we going to see him back in NASCAR?
I haven't seen a single Pro Invitational race. Not one. I didn't care for it. I mean, I've obviously seen the Homestead finish. I've seen the North Wilkesboro stuff or whatever. Number one, I've been working during that, so it's not like I could if I wanted to. But number two, it just didn't interest me. Yeah, it was a cool idea and all that stuff. It was cool to see, Dale Jr. in a junior motorsports car and a cup car. But it's it just didn't interest me, honestly. I mean, I thought it was great. Something, pass the time between the hiatus. So I think NASCAR did a pretty good job. Fox did a really good job. If you don't think Clint Boyer's going into the booth, if you don't think Clint Boyer's going to the booth after he retires, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, I think if this series like an audition for anything, racing, broadcast, or whatever, I think Clint Boyer, he wins with flying colors.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had heard rumors coming into this year that Clint was done this year anyways, and he's going to the booth. If that wasn't already the case, he pretty much solidified it. Fox is going to have somebody. I mean, the 2-man booth is great, but I don't think the goal is to have a 2-man booth. They probably likely knew this was coming in, that either they were going to land Harvick or Boyer. Obviously, Harvick signed an extension, so I think they're waiting for Boyer to come out. Boyer's going to give them a flair of personality. I hope they let Boyer be Boyer. Gordon's a good, solid commentator, but Jeff Gordon's always been a collected kind of guy. He has never, besides his few moments of rage that we've seen with ironically Clint Boyer and Jeff Burton. Gordon's always been a contained kind of guy. Mike Joy is a consummate professional. He's never going to be out of hand. I think it'll be cool to see Boyer go into the booth. He'll give it a lot of flair, and that'll be a lot of fun. Boyer's he's probably locked that up. But in terms of old Larson, what are you thinking? You think 2020, 2021? You think we see him again?
You know what's the funny thing? Larson's going to be my guy when Jimmy retires. They might have to start looking for another guy now.
So you're definitely going to have to.
Well, here's the thing. I don't see Larson back in the Cup Series in 2020. Unless Perino fires Brendan Poole or whatever.
Right.
I could see Larson maybe in a couple truck races or so. I could see that happening. Obviously, it ain't going to be with Chevrolet. Chevrolet kicked him to the curb. 2021, it's weird because I feel like if he is going to be in 2021, it's going to be with Stuart Haas. But the question is, will Stuart Haas want to play it safe and just promote Chase Briscoe, or are they going to okay, we're going to keep Briscoe in the? Because here's the thing, people also need to know is, I feel like Larson has the best chance. Even though Clint Boyer is it's pretty much it's all pretty much buck confirmed. I think anyone would be surprised if he signs another extension with Stuart Haas. But
right.
We got Almirola is also on a 1-year extension. Obviously, he's got the connections with Smithfield, but it's I found it weird. It's why would you sign a 1-year extension to a guy with full sponsorship? So Almirola might be on the way out too.
Yeah.
So let's assume both drivers are out. I think Larson has the best shot to going in that 14 car, just because number one, Tony Stewart is no secret to controversy. Obviously, with Kyle Larson, he's spewed out. That's different than what we've ever seen before. But you got to think about it. It's Kurt Busch. You got to think Kurt Busch. I mean, he's been arrested. He's been suspended from teams left and right. I mean, Clint Boyer. Obviously with his thing, he didn't have any controversy. But obviously, he had to go to 8 Scott for a year or so. And so Tony Stewart, he's no secret to controversy. And I think because his team, besides Harvick, is kind of been mediocre, I think someone like Larson is going to really help, promote that program, especially because they have 2 development drivers that they can develop over. But I think Tony Stewart, Stuart Haas, they need a driver like Larson where it's he's not a veteran, but he's not a young gun either. Where it's he brings enough experience and talent to where they can up the organization. So I think Tony Stewart's going to pull out some magic to where he's going to put him either in the 14 car or in the 10 car.
The biggest thing is sponsors. Sponsors have to be okay with whatever their view is of Kyle Larson. I think if we see him at all this year, which I don't think we will, it would be at a place like Eldora. It would have to be with a back marker team where it have to be from a team that's not really getting manufactured backing. Chevrolet is not actively pumping money into their team. Ford or whoever, Toyota. It's going to be a Norm Benning probably kind of team. I doubt Norm Benning is getting a check cut from Chevrolet or whoever. We've seen that where they'll just throw a sticker on the card to whoever wants to give them a couple $100 to be on the car. So it could maybe be something like that if we see him at all, and it'd be good. Eldora on dirt, anyways. It's for one, Kyle Larson hasn't even filed for reinstatement, so that's the first thing he has to do. I do agree that I think I could see him at Stuart Haas if he comes back, but it's going to be a lot about corporate sponsors. Here's the one thing about Stuart Haas, though. You do have Haas Automation, which Gene can choose to sponsor what he wants. So we'll see. I do agree that I think Tony Stewart has faced plenty of controversy, obviously, with the incident that happened with him years ago with Kevin Ward and all that. He different scenario, but he knows what it feels like to have the world crumbling down around you. I imagine he can, take Kyle under his wing and just that, and not including the dirt background. Kyle could still run dirt. We could still have that passion. So, it would be a good connection. But now shifting to today, we've heard a lot of people talking about today's a big day. I know there's 3, double the amount of radio stations that typically carry the race are carrying the race today. NASCAR is the only live sport that I believe is on today, period. There's a little bit of debate on who came back first, UFC, PBR, NASCAR, this and that. But there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on the race today. A lot of people just simply waiting for NASCAR to screw up. A lot of people waiting for NASCAR to do the right thing. A lot of people that are just NASCAR fans. There's already been a lot of people talk about that they're going to watch. This could be their first NASCAR race they ever watch. So, what do you think? Does it feel big to you? I know for me, it kind of I'm excited, but I'm not overly excited like I would be for like the Daytona 500. I think I will be when I see the cars on track. I kind of also don't believe anything until I've actually seen it. And I think we're going to hear the social media buzz pick up over the next couple of hours. But from you, does it feel like a big deal today?
Well, it feels like here's the thing. It doesn't feel like the Daytona 500, but it feels at the same. It's different. It feels just as big as the Daytona 500, but not exactly. Like it's a different type of feeling. It's like not even mostly from the fact that NASCAR is back, but because like everyone's saying it's probably going to be the most important race since the 1979 Daytona 500. And in a lot of ways they're right, because at the same time, like not only is pretty much everybody going to be watching NASCAR, but at the same time, if NASCAR, knocks it out of the park, we can probably see sports back, sooner than we expected. And what is everyone going to point to? They're going to point to NASCAR.
Yeah.
So at the same time,
I think that's a great point. I think that's something that, even though it's going to be hard to justify how basketball or footballs could be the same because they're not in race cars that are, no matter, even if you're touching race cars, you're still 6 feet apart from each other. Obviously, there's still other things that other sports would have to deal with. I mean, if you have a football game, at minimum, you have 22 guys on the field at the same time. But I think you're right. There's going to be a lot of sports leagues, baseball. The players are usually all spread out. You're going to be looking and saying, okay, this is what NASCAR did. And I'll be honest, and this is how it is these days, unfortunately. It's trendy to figure out what the public perception is. And, somebody like baseball or the NBA who have kept on dabbling with ideas to play their sport, I think if they go into it and let's say NASCAR makes some sort of mistake, and people have to realize all it takes is for somebody on the mainstream side of the media world to be offended. If they see a driver win the race and hug somebody or shake their crew's hands, I mean, that's going to be the kind of things that people are going to nitpick. And if there's a lot of negative backlash, I think you're going to see those sports be weary of being ready to go back. But I personally think it's going to be a positive vibe. I think people are going to be able to breathe a little bit and say, okay, we're at some sort of normal, because let's be honest, the race is going to look pretty similar. I think they ended up saying, I know there was some, they're dabbling about what to do about pit stops. I'm fairly certain pit stops are going to be just regular pit stops at this point. I think they have the regular crews. I mean, the race is going to look completely normal except without fans, which you could joke would just be like pretend we're at Indianapolis. So, the race is going to look fine. And I think that's going to be really normal to see. And I think people will be able to breathe. And I think, especially for race fans, it can bring back a little bit of like, okay, we're kind of going in the right direction here. We can all breathe and we can start to live life again. So you made a good point. I think that's the biggest thing is there's other sports leagues and sports fans. And like I said, there's people they're going to watch just so they have something to critique NASCAR on, because there's already the narrative that, well, NASCAR fans stereotypically don't even believe, and they probably don't even think, they think it's a hoax, and they think this, and they're just jumping straight in when we're not. I mean, it's, a lot of people have taken a lot of time. Steve Phelps and all those guys have taken a lot of time, and there's not even anybody in the grandstand, and they were releasing pictures of them sanitizing the grandstand. Remember, all that's going to be there is spotters. They don't even have to do that. They're doing that. They're taking temperatures. They're doing this. They're doing that. So, NASCAR, I think, is doing everything they can to handle this the right way. And I personally think it'll be positive. But you made a good point. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people watching today just to see, hey, could maybe we do this? I mean, if you're baseball, you're going to look and see, okay, maybe there's a couple ideas we can do. Is there negative perception? Is there a positive perception? Because it's trendy. Social media can sadly determine a lot of things these days. And it's trendy for the NBA or the MLB to let's see how NASCAR bites the bullet, or if it's a success, and then gives us an excuse to move on. It's a good point. I'm proud of you. All right. Anyways, do you have a race pick? We're ready to make race picks. Earlier, you told me you hadn't even thought about who's going to win. I mean, I was going to tell you to pick Paul Menard. He's not racing.
Probably that one.
I've got my race winner. You got a couple minutes, or do I need to try to convince you on my race winner? I can go first if you want me to, so you can also steal my pick and ride the thunder.
Yeah, go first. Go ahead.
All right. So this man's got 14 starts at Darlington. He's got 2 wins, 7 top 5s, 11 top 10s. He's finished in the top 10 78.6% of the races he has started at Darlington. All right. He has completed 99.8% of the laps he's ever ran at Darlington. His average start is 8.8. His average finish is 7.8. Folks, it is hard to average a better finish than start typically. Okay, that's just it. You know, it sounds like it's not that hard, but when you look at stats over a long period of time, there's a lot of drivers that do not match that. Okay, he starts 10th today. All right, and before I even say this, and I'm sure somebody's scrolling and already figured out who it is because they looked at the starting lineup. Of his 7 top 5s, 5 of them are top 2 finishes. All right, and that is Sir Dennis Hamlin. Dennis Hamlin will win today's Darlington 400. The real name, the Real Heroes 400, which pretty cool. I did see they're taking the names off of they're putting the piece of duct tape over the driver's names and having the actual the healthcare worker name, which is pretty cool. So I'm sure you'll ride the thunder here, and you'll also pick the 11 car. But tell me who's going to win, Armany.
It's funny. We talked about the 11 car, but before we went live, we were talking about the most the most iconic numbers in NASCAR.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mention one number that we mentioned. So he's on. Well, I'd say, and if he start this year, he's had speed, but sometimes he doesn't have the finishes to show for it. He won stage 1 at Daytona. I got a lot of flack for associating a certain driver with this number. I think the man on NASCAR opinion shirt here, Chase Elliott, is going to win at Darlington.
Wrong side. Well, I thought you were
Wait, that's a Noah Gragson shirt. Never mind.
I thought you were going to pick Casey Kane. Yeah, I got my Gregson shirt on. I couldn't find the Chase Elliott shirt I wanted on, but I'll support ONG right here. The Chase, listen, I would love for it to happen because then I could hear these people quit trying to tell me the 88 is the lead car in Hendrick Motorsports after 4 races in the season. But I don't know. Chase he won at Darlington in the Xfinity Series way back in his rookie year, and he's never really flared at the Cup level. I think he's always had decent runs, but he's never popped and, Chase is going to win the race, and, he's a favorite. So we will see. But Dennis the Menace, I think, is going to take the checkered flag today. He's probably the best active driver at the track. But here's a sneaky backup pick. If you're needing to make picks, you're in some kind of pool, you're betting your life savings here. Another good pick is the pole sitter Brad Keselowski, who is arguably the second best driver here at Darlington. I think Keselowski's got 1 or 2 Southern 500 wins. I know I saw him win one of them in person, but I think he may have 2 of them.
He's got 1.
So I was there and got to see that one. So Keselowski, who typically has one of the best throwbacks in the field, even though he's running the regular scheme today, I think he will also be hard to beat, and he's got track position. So we'll see. Matty D also has track position starting 3rd. I did not notice that until about 2 hours ago. So that'll be cool to see if DiBenedetto take care of it. But I'm ready to go racing, man. I know you don't get to see a bunch of it. I know you got to work. You might get to see the start of it. So, knowing your luck will be the greatest race in NASCAR history, and you'll be on whatever you're doing.
I'll be stocking vegetables.
Well, there you go. That's one way to live. You know what I mean?
Got to make money somehow.
You got anything else?
I got to now be able to watch the Wednesday race because I'm off that day, thank God.
I got to remember that Wednesday. It's going to be weird, dude. I'm looking forward to midweek races just to see how it is. I want to see what the social media buzz is. I want to see what the vibe is. I'm excited. I forgot about that. But Tuesday night we got a race too. So I got to remember that because typically I try to work out and I got to hurry and get to the house. And I have a radio show that night at 8 o'clock I got to do. So I'll be doing radio and this and that. Yeah, be busy for about 30 minutes there, and then I can go back to watching the race. So, all right, we're going to get out of here. Y'all enjoy race day. I'm going to go get a blooming onion. I haven't had one in about 4 months. So, I'm going to go. Don't look at me. Blooming onion. I could have a blooming onion.
Hey, Robert. Harvick finishes inside the top 10.
They probably ain't holding that together. We're in the middle of a pandemic. I think that promotion's probably off. All right. We will hopefully see y'all next week, assuming the world doesn't end between now and then and something crazy doesn't happen. Today is a big deal. Hope everybody enjoys the race. I will be live tweeting, obviously, throughout the day. I'm sure Armany will be saying things. Hopefully, get the haircut. We'll figure all this out. And look at him. He's ready to roll, folks. We will see you next week.